All right. Hello, everybody. We are back now. Just to remind you, we just did the GETA, the first step when you're analyzing a writing prompt. And the prompt was, there is an ongoing discussion about the new school lunch guidelines. Think about both sides of the discussion, then write an opinion essay in your own words supporting either side of the discussion. Are the new school lunch guidelines helping students? Be sure to include information from both passages. So we filled out GETA. We said the genre was persuasive. Important information from the prompt was that we had to use information from both passages. Think about both sides, use our own words, and write an opinion essay. We decided our topic sentence would be something along the lines of, the new school lunch guidelines help or don't help students. We're not sure. Well, we're going to decide, and our audience is our teacher. So now our whole point is that we're going to go read through the passages, which I've included copies of these, and we're going to underline anything that could help us make our decision about whether the current school lunches are, the new school lunch guidelines either are or are not helping the students. And then we'll be able to decide what we think, okay? So Hadley, I'm going to read out loud, and I want you to tap the paper anytime you think you have found something that we should highlight. Okay? I know that Hadley actually already read this just yesterday, but I want you, if there's anything you've already highlighted too, make sure you tap just so that we can make sure we make note of it, okay? All right, dear editor, this one's called So-Called Healthier School Lunches. You can already garner from that this person, so-called healthier, probably doesn't think that they're healthier. Dear editor, I was so excited to hear our local schools would finally be serving more healthy lunches. For years, I have felt guilty for allowing my kids to eat the processed foods offered by the school lunch program. That's not a tap, Hadley. Okay. Why did you tap that?
Because it says how she feels guilty for allowing her kids to eat processed foods. So that means she feels bad about it, so she probably thinks it's bad.
Okay, so you're right, she does. So we know this person's against processed foods. She's said so far that she's excited to hear that they would finally be serving more healthy foods. She's kind of saying why, right? Like why she's happier now. Mm-hmm. One of the reasons you highlighted this is because it helped answer the question that we did before, the TEEEC one. Now, we're going to find out, though, how she feels about the new guidelines, right?
Right.
Okay. Sadly, it seems that the new guidelines have not made much a difference. Yes, that is a huge one for this, right? So I'm going to highlight sad. Now, what was the key word that let you know that something big was coming?
Have not. Or sadly.
Sadly. I'm going to circle sadly. Sadly was a key word for me here because she just said, I'm so excited about these new healthy lunches. For years I've been guilty. Sadly, it's not working. Sadly, it seems the new guidelines have not made much of a difference. So I'm going to underline that because actually the sentence before that you tapped, that one went better with the prompt we did yesterday.
Yeah.
Okay? All right. So children are still eating chicken nuggets, fish sticks, and pizza every month. Do you think is that evidence to support the fact that the school guidelines aren't any better?
Yes.
Yes, it is. So we would want to highlight that as well. Children are still eating chicken nuggets, french fries, and pizza. Okay, so she's trying to say, hey, you got these new guidelines. They're not actually any better. They're still eating the same stuff. Okay. Some of the fruits and vegetables that are supposed to be healthy come from cans. They're not the fresh and healthy produce I was expecting.
Well, I guess it could be important. I think it is because it's saying how it's not fresh and healthy.
So all of this is really good. So what you're going to have to do, you don't want to use all of this, right? So you're going to have to eventually go back and pick which ones you think are the strongest. But you're right. All of this is more detail supporting the fact that the new guidelines aren't helping. Another problem with the new guidelines, did we just hear a key word?
Yes, a problem.
Good. Another problem. So we know something big's coming. You don't get that word unless something big's coming. So another problem with the new guidelines is the portion sizes. Okay, so first of all, she says they're still eating the same processed food. Secondly, she says there's problems with the portion sizes. Children are given a calorie maximum based on their age without taking into account their different sizes and needs. Okay, so that's a detail that supports why the portions are not working out. A 220-pound high school football player doing a 2-a-day practice is getting the same amount of food as smaller children or children who are not as active. That hardly seems fair. Both of my children have told me that they are hungry all day. One of my children has lunch at 10:45, and that is supposed to last until school is over at 3:15 p.m. My children hunt for junk food every day right after school. I know that many schools are struggling to meet these guidelines, but they have to do better than this. I have no choice but to send my children to school with packed lunches. This way I can control the portions myself. I can also be sure they have fresh, not processed fruits and vegetables every day. So we'll stop right now with this passage, and we'll say to ourselves, okay, what are the two major points this author makes? Hadley, what would you say the two major points she makes about whether or not the new guidelines? First of all, does she believe the new guidelines are helping?
Not at all.
No. So I'm going to write out here in my margins, no. She says that they're not helping, okay? And then what are her major points? I'm going to write them down. What are her main reasons why she says they're not helping? Number one is what?
They're creating too much problems, such as not healthy food.
Okay, I want you to be specific.
Uh,
Why does she say that it's not helping? What's happening in the cafeterias?
They're having chicken nuggets, fish sticks, and pizza.
Okay, so still eating pizza, chicken nuggets. Did you say something else? And fish sticks
Yeah.
and pizza. Okay, they're still eating the same things. Okay, I'm gonna scoot this down. Still eating pizza, chicken nuggets, fish sticks, and pizza, just as they were before. Okay? So that basically nothing's changed. Number two is what? What's the other problem?
Portion sizes.
Okay. Portion sizes. So here, okay, I'm just making more space is why I'm erasing. So the answer was no. Her point was same food. I'm going to write same food. You can turn that into a sentence, okay? Her point was it's still the same food. Our evidence to support that point is that they're still eating pizza, chicken, nuggets, and fish, okay? All right, this is the word before. Number two, her point is the portion sizes are the same for everybody. So they're too little for some people, too big for others, right? There's no difference between a high school football player and an elementary school kid who doesn't like to eat much food, like Charlotte.
Not me.
Yeah, you would need more food. Do we give you the same portion as your little sister?
No,
Never. Okay. So portion sizes is the second point, and the evidence for that is the 220-pound football player versus, who does she compare it to? Smaller children. Small, inactive child. Now, why is this important? We teach kids that every time you write something, you use what we call TEEEC to do every single paragraph, okay? You use TEEEC. So yesterday, Hadley did a lesson where he just had to write a paragraph, so he only used TEEEC. Today, we're going to use more than TEEEC because we're writing an essay, but TEEEC, okay? T-E-E-E-E-C. Now, the first E's in each group stand for evidence. The second E stands for explanation. So every time you're trying to find evidence to support your topic sentence, so this person would say that school lunches are not helping, right? The new guidelines are not helping students. One piece of evidence is this whole, that they're still eating the same thing, and you have to explain it, okay? So we're going to do all of that in detail, but you have to find out, have a piece of evidence, and you have to have information to be able to explain it each time. Okay, so let's read the second one and see what this person says. Dear editor, before retiring, see, sometimes it gets tiring for the kid. It's all right. We'll make it more fun, Hadley. Are you ready? Dear editor, before retiring 10 years ago, I had been an elementary school teacher for 37 years. During my first year, students were filled with energy. They ran around during recess, then they would come back into the classroom and complete their lessons. At the start of my career, students ate in the classroom. Their parents packed them fairly healthy lunches. They often consisted of leftover home-cooked meals rather than processed foods. I often saw vegetables that seemed to come straight from the garden. Excuse me. Allergies, not coronavirus, promise. All right, over the years, students seem to become less energetic. I noticed more students sitting and talking during recess. Many were eating non-nutritional snacks. Fewer were playing and burning off energy. When they returned to class, their minds wandered. They struggled to focus. Prepared lunches at school did not help. In fact, they added to the problem. Students received regular servings of pizza, burgers, and mashed potatoes from a box. Many students, okay, so I'm going to point something out here, and I was waiting for Hadley to tap. Hadley was probably anxious this whole time reading it because he's like, there has to be something in here we can help, because the last time we highlighted almost the whole entire passage. But actually, this is great information about why this person didn't like how school lunches were, but we haven't yet heard anything about how she thinks the news guidelines have gone, right?
Mm-hmm.
So be patient. A lot of times kids get highlight happy, where they feel like they should be finding evidence as they go. Sometimes the only thing out of one passage you can use is one sentence. Sometimes one of the passages has tons of information and the other one has very little. Sometimes they both have a ton. Sometimes neither of them have very much. So don't think that the passage has to have a lot. Stay focused on the question, which is the new guidelines, right? The new guidelines only. So let's keep going. They deserve healthy foods to nourish their brains and bodies. Now, students are finally getting more healthy foods at schools. What does that sentence tell us?
She likes the new guidelines.
Yes. So this person would say yes, they are helping. And the evidence to support it is that she says now students are finally getting more healthy foods at school. So she thinks that is helping. Or he. We don't know. We're just going to call her G.
Tyler.
Our country recently revealed a change in school lunches. No more processed chicken fingers pizza and sugary chocolate milk. Students now enjoy more healthy baked options, fruits, vegetables, and low-fat dairy products. These options are offered at every meal. Students can fill up on brain-healthy food. I have also heard that school leaders plan to change vending machine options. They will swap sugary snacks for more healthy whole grain options. Hats off to health. There are so many distractions like internet, video games, and smartphones. Real foods like vegetables and fruits will help students focus in class. It will help them feel healthier and have more energy to be active.
Okay, I think I say something.
Yeah.
It's basically saying the exact opposite of the last one.
It is.
Because they think that there's no more chicken fingers pizza, but they're saying the opposite. So they think exact different things.
They do think exactly different things. So this is interesting because you have to decide who you think has a stronger argument. So she says they revealed a change. She says there's no more processed chicken fingers, pizza, and sugary chocolate milk. She says that now students enjoy healthier baked options, fruits, vegetables, and low-fat dairy products. Okay, and she says these options are offered at every meal. Okay, so now Hadley can't just go on his own thoughts. He has to, based on this information from these articles, who does he think has the best evidence to support his or her point? Okay, so Hadley, who convinced you more? Did the person convince you that says school lunches actually aren't that much healthier, or did the person convince you that says school lunches are?
Well, kind of from experience, I have to go with the no, because my friends and most people who are getting school lunches have like those exact things every single day.
So you know from experience that it hasn't changed, okay?
Yeah.
Now, although you have these amazing experiences, are you allowed to pull your personal experiences into your persuasive essay?
No.
No, not this one, right? So if you're writing in one where you're able to pull information from anything, then you could. But right here, are the new school lunch lines helping? Be sure to include information from both
Passages.
Okay? All right. Think about both sides of the discussion, then write your opinion essay. So, from these two, do you want to go with the one that says it's not healthy, though?
Yes.
Okay. So now Hadley can go back, and why would you, based on this author, why would you say lunches are not healthy?
Because they give a lot of evidence.
Okay. So they say school lunches, the new guidelines. Let's go back to our GETA. The new school lunch guidelines, you would say don't help. So we're going to circle don't help, students. Because, why? Give me two reasons. What were this person's two main reasons?
Same foods.
Okay. Because it, wait, hold on, see, would it be the right word? The new school lunches, because they, right? Because we're talking about lunches. Mm-hmm. Because they
still have the same non-nutritious foods.
Good. Still have the same non-nutritious foods. Now, I love that Hadley didn't name the foods right now because he's going to use that later in his paragraph,
Evidence.
I bet. Yeah, it's evidence. So, because they still have the same non-nutritious foods and, what's the second point?
Same portion sizes for everyone.
Okay. And they have the same portion sizes for everyone. So now he has filled out what that topic sentence will be. So now Hadley is ready to write his introduction. So our next segment will be on how to write an introduction once you've read the passages and you've decided what your topic sentence will be.